Hey, it's Nikki Thompson, and this is Tea with Nikki. Embrace your wild woman. And today I am doing a live video, and this will be also uploaded onto the podcast, which you can listen to. I think we're up to over 70 episodes at the moment. You can go and check them out on Spotify and iTunes or Apple Podcast, and anywhere else that you love to listen to podcasts. So today I'm talking about what is your feminine telling you. So when I talk about this, I've been talking about sexual energy, masculine, feminine energy for a number of years now. And the most popular topics have been when I talk about feminine energy and how that kind of works. What does that look like? What does that mean? And today I wanted to dive in a bit more about what is she trying to tell you. So I talk about the wild woman as being our wholeness of where the masculine and the feminine kind of come together, and that forms who we are. So we all have our own unique balance of masculine, feminine energy, and when we think about embracing all of that, embracing our wild woman means that we're embracing all parts of ourselves, and we're often conditioned growing up that the feminine side is overly emotional, too much, needs to be quietened down, is unproductive, and all of these negative things that we start to think that we need to block it down. And so when we think about embracing both sides, it means that we can still be the productive, jumping into that more masculine flow. But we need to have that guidance from the feminine that's guiding us in the right way. So I always see it as the feminine is kind of our map. It's kind of helping us know which way we want to go, and the masculine is helping us make that happen. And today I wanted to talk to you about, are you listening to what she's even saying? So it's difficult to listen when we are in a world of constant distractions. We have our phone on us all the time. We're on social media, and then we can listen to music all of the time. Even if you're in a queue at a checkout, we're like looking on our phone. We don't ever allow or purposely create any space in our life. And so we don't get to listen to what she's saying. And when we're not listening, we're not tuning into that, she will make us tune into that, and that will feel like depression, anxiety, just feeling really empty, or like every day is the same, and feeling lost and overwhelmed. That can often be some of the feelings of what it feels like if we're not listening to her, and she's just like starts to have to scream at us. So I'm not saying that all depression is because you're not listening to the feminine side. I'm saying that the feelings of depression can be a feeling of what it's like if she's screaming at you to tell you to listen to what's really going on. And she can also talk to us through our body. If our body's feeling tense and tight and nauseous, we can often be feeling like, oh, that's not right. Something's not right here. What do I need to do? So it's one thing to really listen in and tune into that, but it's another thing completely to actually have the courage to take that action. And that's a big one. So I talk to people about this regularly, is where, if we're not living in full alignment with what our mind, our heart is saying, and our words are speaking, then we can again feel that lost and overwhelmed feeling, because we know what we really want to do, but we feel like we just can't do that. And I think that's becoming more and more common now, because people are wanting to stand their ground. They're wanting to create their own path, and a lot of people are starting to do that. But there's so many that are feeling stuck, like they don't have options, like they don't have the support that they need in order to take that action. So I want you to think about in your own life, first of all, do you have the space? Do you dedicate space? Are you purposely creating space and peacefulness in your life in order to listen and tune in? Or do you get to a point where you're just smashed into it and she's yelling at you because you're not listening and you're not tuning in, and you're making all of these decisions that are not in full alignment with what you truly want. So there's that is one of our big problems. The second one is having the courage to follow that path. Now, it's really easy to say, oh, you should just have the courage to do that. Well, it's a whole nother thing when you have responsibilities and you have people relying on you and you've built a life that you really, really love, but you're just not 100% happy. But the idea of losing all of those things or making a big life change can be really scary. And that is really understandable and really reasonable. So for me, it was more of a matter of changing, like everything changed in my life. And that's what started redirecting me off the main highway of where I was headed and off into the wilderness of my own life, creating my own path. And that's what we talk about inside the Wild Woman Collective, which is my online women's group. And we talk about creating our own map for our own path and having the support around you to make that happen. So you could find support through friends and family, through online communities, even just by reading people's social media stuff can be supportive if it doesn't like have this negative effect on you, because sometimes we can read so much information that we then can't make any decision, and we feel quite overwhelmed by that too. So thinking about what kind of supports you have in place in order to, get off this main highway that you're not feeling like you're alive. I want you to be able to wake up in the morning and feel fantastic. I want you to think, oh my gosh, life is amazing. Because otherwise we get to a point where the older we get and the more commitments we've made on this main highway that isn't really what we love, the harder and harder it can become to actually want to change paths completely. So I want you to have a think about that, and I would love for you to come on to social media and share with me some of your ideas and concepts of what have you done differently that you've felt so proud of yourself for achieving. Maybe it's truly embracing and loving your body. Now that's a big one, and especially in today's society, I am not your typical model-sized woman. I'm a pretty standard-sized woman, and I freaking love it. I have been wearing a bikini the whole of summer, stretch marks exposed, pale stomach exposed, and I love it. I'm really comfortable with that, and that's definitely going against the grain for me. I honestly thought that if I was to wear a bikini out in public, that I would just die, that people would be pointing their finger and laughing at me, and it didn't happen, because we have to remember that we are the most judgmental person on ourselves more than anybody else, because the reality is that most people actually don't care. They don't care what you're up to. They're more worried about themselves, that they're not that bothered about what you are or are not doing. They will have an opinion, but everyone's going to have an opinion no matter what you're doing. So you may as well go and live the life that you really enjoy. Now, I want to finish this little episode here. I have been doing daily episodes recently, so be sure to subscribe so that you can watch and listen to all of those if you're watching or listening this episode. And I hope you have the most incredible day. I will talk to you later.